another episode of Working the Crowd with Brady and Chris. We're coming here live on a Wednesday evening. We're going to talk about some Monday Night Raw and the fallout from the bullshit that went down.
The bullshit?
There's so much bullshit in this episode of Monday Night Raw, dude. So much, and you cannot tell me otherwise. So
you sound angry, Brady. What the?
You want to get right back in? You're right back. You want to get right into it?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. John Cena opened the show. What'd you think, man? I figured you'd be excited.
Fuck John Cena and his goddamn bullshit. Just heel wearing his belt backwards. You know, I'm over it. I'm done with John Cena at this point. I hate the character. Ready to move on. And I know what people like you were gonna say. He's doing his fucking job. I get it. People are supposed to hate him, but I'm done with it. Like, when John Cena comes up, Brady's going to the piss break. That's all there is to it. If we went to Monday Night Raw and I heard John Cena, even though the show just started, I'd be like, damn, that'd be a great time to take a piss. So I would get up and go. But I would have missed something spectacular.
Yeah. I was about to say, I mean, your boy came out. Talk about it.
Static hit, my dude. Something that we've been all, and when I say all, I include Chris, been yearning for. The CM Punk versus John Cena rematch. And I'm so fucking excited about it.
So
let's talk about it.
Yeah, were you as shocked as me that that it's happening, like, you know, right off the bat this way, but also that it's happening in Saudi? Was the big news.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. And I'm not upset. I'm not mad. There's been a lot of people in the IWC that have gone in, found tweets and, you know, things and brought it up.
Oh, well, he put enough of them out there. So, I mean, but at the same time, like
he's even said people change, man.
He's there to work, you know?
Yeah, he opened his new run with "I'm here to make money, not friends."
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, money talks, and if Saudi Arabia says we want CM Punk and we're going to pay you $10 million to come, by God, CM Punk's going to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, like, you know, the shows have gotten tremendously better than they used to be. They were kind of jokes for a while there, you know, dragging out as many old timers as possible. I love me some HBK, but, you know, that match wasn't great.
Are you talking about the DX Undertaker Kane?
Yes.
Dude,
I mean,
what a shit show.
Yeah. Oh, not to mention Undertaker Goldberg and just, yeah. I mean,
Goldberg? What? Are you talking? We're going to talk about Goldberg tonight, right?
What is there to talk about? He ain't nowhere. But no, I'm just saying, like, in general, they're at least presented as, like, somewhat, you know, better quality shows. You know, I don't think a lot of people care about the you know, Crown Jewel champion by any means, but at least that's not going on this year. I don't think, at least. We'll see. But no, that opening promo was fire. As much as a bitch as Punk can be, you know, he can go on the
dick. Punk schooled Cena on the mic, dude. Schooled him.
Well, that's no surprise. Cena can only do one thing with his heel. He doesn't have a lot of range there. The one thing that's effective is the countdown thing. Again, that was I thought that's an effective, like, kind of keep people on their toes thing. You know, there really is only that many days left. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Man, you know, it's
I was gonna say
be a good match.
I'm not going to be at work that day, but you probably will. So I'll get to watch it live. And you're going to be selling, you know, ring, ring. And I'm going to be out here fucking watching some Saudi bullshit on TV, enjoying it. So
yeah. So did you notice what, this is the thing. Did you notice what happened at the very end of the little promo segment?
Yes, I did. Seth Rollins' music hit.
Yeah.
And then he came out there and presented his briefcase.
Which threw me for a loop because, okay, I'm going to be honest, I was pretty much 100% of the mindset that, oh, we all know what's happening with Seth and the Money in the Bank. He's going to take Jay, like, immediately. And, or even if it wasn't immediately, like, I mean, I would say before SummerSlam he was gonna put that thing in, knock Jay out and take it from him. So him going out there and putting it in front of Cena definitely changed what my plans might be. You called? Oh, shut the fuck up! You didn't call nothing.
I called it. I said what I said, even on our last podcast. I said that. I said if Roman's gonna have a belt, if there's going to be a feud, what did I say?
You think it needs to be for the undisputed title?
Okay. And I'm going to be correct in this. If John Cena loses the belt to a cash-in by Seth Rollins, the only path is Roman versus Seth, and they're going to do it at WrestleMania next year. So what
that says to me is, and I see the path forward now. If you're right, and the one thing I'm going to take a little bit of pleasure in, if you're right about Seth cashing in for the undisputed, is Brady. I'm gonna throw my Booker hat on here. Fantasy book some stuff. Let's say, we all think it's maybe time for John to lose the belt, and maybe he.
I don't even want to hear what you're about to say.
No. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it.
No,
you already know.
La. I know
so
what you're gonna say.
John loses that belt to begin his redemption face tour to finish off with. CM Punk is in the ring celebrating, and then 2 fucking minutes later, burn it down, and then Seth Rollins comes out and cashes on Punk. You get your Punk victory, and then 2 minutes later that shit's gone.
Kind of like you did with Drew. And
yes, but it will sting so much worse for you when it happens to Punk than when it happened to Drew. I'd mainly just like Drew to piss you off, but you love Punk, and him getting that belt after 12 years or whatever it will be by then, or whatever, and losing it in 2 minutes, that will be so fucking sweet. And the amount of I told you so's, you will never live it down, ever.
Okay, fantasy book all you fucking want, but I can tell you that's not gonna happen.
You can tell me, yeah.
I know that, and
let me guess, she'll cancel Peacock if it happens. Is that another one of those?
Cancel Peacock, Netflix. I'll even fucking I'll block USA on my TV so I can't see this.
So kids can't accidentally watch it, right?
Right, nothing. No, dude. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, as much as it hurts to say what I'm fixing to say, is
okay.
Punk's not winning it. Not a Champions. He's just not. They're not gonna drop the title. Cena's not gonna drop the title in Saudi Arabia. It's just not happening. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong to prevent a stupid fucking cash-in. But it's just, if anything,
I don't see Seth. It doesn't make as much sense to me for Seth to cash in on Cena as the heel, but I don't know. I mean, who knows? Obviously, who knows? It's just kind of one of those. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the fact that he went out there and put that briefcase out there in front of Cena, that was definitely that was definitely something I wasn't expecting, and I still was on the edge of my seat for the main event and everything, but we'll get there obviously. So, but yeah, there was a hot opening segment, which led into the King of the Ring stuff. So they announced the entrance. I like the format for what it. Again, we kind of mentioned before, King of the Ring. It's certainly not the coolest thing all year by any means, but Fatal 4-Way was fun tonight. Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? It was AJ versus Gable. Gable, not anyone else that you may think it was.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, yeah.
Are you sure of the order? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That match was great, and I'm actually going to post something here because, we talk about Gable and all this, that, and the other. Conrad Thompson, actually, I don't know if you know who that is, but he is a huge podcaster, and he posted a little snippet of WWE selling Grande Americano's mask, and on the barcode it said Chad Gable's Lucha mask. So
all I know is someone's getting fired for such an obvious error and just obvious stupidity for not realizing that they're two separate people. Obviously,
okay.
Because most people, when someone says that, they're like, "Oh, have you ever seen the two of them in the same room, same time?" And we have. So
the match was great. AJ won, obviously. Which, dude, you can't put AJ in Chad Gable together and it not burn down. Like, I mean, it was fucking great.
Yeah, you can't put Chad Gable. I mean, either one of them individually and it not be great for that matter. I got to give, dude. I got a chance to, I mentioned a few days ago, like I hadn't seen the Worlds Collide. I did check out the Gable, Vikingo match. Dude, that was great, and Gable proved why he is just. I mean, he's every bit like, to me, as good as anyone out there. He deserves to be compared to Kurt Angle. If it wasn't for his height, I really and truly believe he'd be up there in the World Championship picture, like legitimately. As it was, he for someone his size to have believably almost beaten Gunther during his IC reign, like, let's just be honest, Gable's amazing, and AJ Styles for years has proven how amazing he is. So yeah, the two of them together, it was a good time. Gable can't get some wins, and without anything else, unfortunately, lately. But he still puts on a damn good show. So that was, that was a good match. Yeah. So then, I got ahead of myself because I was thinking of the qualifying matches and stuff. The next one was the women's, and really, really, really good story throughout all that. Of a little intro before of what is it, Roxanne and Liv, and Liv obviously being pissed off and everything. And then they actually did work together the whole match, up until the very end. So, what did you think of that match?
It was great. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan, and you know this, of triple threats, fatal four ways, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's serving its purpose, and man, they worked. I mean, every one of them, I think that they did well. I was actually really surprised on the outcome. But great match, and I think that I could watch that caliber of Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
And it, so
I like to see, one thing I will say that, do they, like, I wish they wouldn't necessarily always go for that, like, stealing the pin kind of win in those kind of matches. It makes sense in a lot of ways because it usually protects someone. And I get that, the reasoning for doing that, but yeah, no. But at the same time, I think in this case, it absolutely furthered the obvious story going on with, Liv and Roxanne. Raquel coming out and, getting Rhea. That was, really good stuff. Wouldn't mind. I mean, if they're going to keep Rhea busy doing something else, a little mini feud there on the side, I'm not mad about that. I don't think there's ever going to be a bad, Rhea and Raquel match. The two of them are good together, so I don't hate it. But yeah, I feel like, Kairi Sane's getting a little lost in there. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but I don't know. I didn't feel like she was actually really getting a lot of the reactions from the crowd personally. Like, I'm not sure if they're like really, they haven't given her any kind of specific thing to do other than, oh, she's back. Cool. Hey, everybody, So I think they need a story for her or something, but.
Well, I think they accidentally spoiled the Asuka return, and then they had to
put it out there, yeah. They showed the bracket, and then they aired the Asuka's coming back thing, which, first and foremost, how fucking awesome is Asuka? So that's amazing that she's back. Very glad. Hope she's, good and healthy, obviously. I know, if I remember right, last year, the story was that she basically... gotta get them bugs out of there. Yeah, the story was she basically worked Mania hurt, and which made a recovery not anywhere as easy as it may have been, but she went through and did the work, so good for her for that. But I hope she's back and better. Very exciting. Anytime she's in there, it's amazing. So
love Asuka. Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the end of that match, like I said, fantastic. I think that Roxanne isn't going to go all the way, but hey.
Yeah, I'm very much as like, the three big call-ups right lately have been Julia, Roxanne, and Stephanie Vaquer. Julia is very much in need of a program to really get to show herself off. Just throwing her in some matches that she doesn't quite get to show off, they haven't done right, but now she's getting a little bit of an obvious program with Zelina. She got to kind of tease a thing with her and then turn on her. She is a good heel. So I'm excited to see where they go with her. Damn. Yep. Saw that. Gotta love Texas, man. But
Yep.
yeah, no. The other good thing out of that is after the match, we get more shit eating grin Finn Balor. I can't
Dude,
get
I love it.
I can't get
It's
enough of that. He is enjoying all the fucking turmoil with Dom and Liv and everything, and it is great. He is such a, like I said, that shit eating grin is becoming one of my favorite things each week.
yeah. I mean, if he goes a week without it, it's gonna make me sad.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, after that we had a little backstage Nikki segment, which I thought it was cool. They did a little reel of her. I'm gonna be honest. I think she gets a lot of hate from some of the hardcores. That's very well undeserved. I get that, like, oh, she's a reality show and people want to like focus on that for her, but really and truly before the Four Horsewomen, she absolutely. I really think she, her and Bree were instrumental in pushing forward that what they did led to the women's evolution, like, really and truly. So I don't know that she's gonna be able to come back the way she was back in the day, but you shouldn't necessarily expect that from 10 years later. So but
so
I'm excited.
here's my opinion on all of that, and I will take the heat. Perfectly fine for this.
Okay.
With all the up and newcomers that we've got, Steph, we've got Roxanne, we've got, even now, Blake Monet just came over from AEW. Like, all these newcomers, we don't need people like Nikki Bella. We don't need people like Trish Stratus. We don't need people like Lita. We don't need them coming back. And again, I'll take the heat to get the paycheck, okay, and then to leave. We don't need it. Like, that time and that money needs to be spent. And again, not a businessman, don't really fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay. But you understand where I'm going. Like, let's give the up and comers the chance.
Yeah.
We don't need, again, Nikki Bella is there to do evolution. I get it.
I see. That's my thing. I got no problem with it. Like, Trish had a kind of lengthy run her last little bit, but for the most part, it's been little short feuds, and most of the time they put the younger ones over. That's legends or whatever you want to call it, coming back and working with younger talent. That's just a thing that happens. It happens all the time on the men's side. I got, if it's a short program now, if she's trying to like make a full-time return, but she's, not there to put anyone over, then I got a problem. If she's there for a short feud, if she's putting people over, I'm okay with it personally.
Well, I mean, she let Liv, and we can. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are getting a little bit ahead, but it's all good though.
I don't think that Nikki Bella, again, Trish Stratus, any of the Diva era, we don't need them. Like, it's time to just move on, and let's again use that time for the up and comers. I would love.
Yeah, but it's just a known thing, like, that getting a victory over the more well established name is something that builds those up and comers. This is the same in like even in like fighting in general. You get people that are past their prime once they lose the title. If they still want to go out there and fight, they're going to let them fight, because then so and so up and coming MMA fighter, they got a victory over a former champion. That's just it's an accolade thing. And again, if they're there to put people over and not edge it up, then I'm okay with it again. So
here's my play on that.
Yeah.
I want Becky Lynch to be there right now to do nothing but to put people over. But Becky Lynch is still a full-time superstar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, Becky's working. Right. She's there. When she's going to be there, she's going to be there. So that's okay.
If you're going to tell me that someone going over on Nikki Bella is just as prestigious as going over on somebody like Becky Lynch,
yeah,
that doesn't math.
Well, yeah, kind of, but there are people that are fans of those Divas eras that aren't watching now that will want to tune in for that. It's the same thing with the men's superstars. For how long have people that are past their prime been showing up still to put on matches, even if it's temporarily? We say, oh, we don't need them, but it's just part of the game, part of the business. So I don't know. But speaking of Becky Lynch, like she showed up. The thing that impresses me most when Becky, she did the same thing, a couple years back when she was big time Bex. When she's in this mood and she comes out with that fucking scowl on her face, I fucking love it. She's got that down so good. She just looks pissed off and annoyed, and she comes out there with her little eyes kind of half squinted in the scowl. It's amazing, and she did a great promo, and she tried to kill me. What the fuck?
Hey man, you can't beat Becky on the mic.
And no one can. Lyra came out there all hot and looking pissed off, and then we got Bayley, dude. Were you excited for that? I was definitely excited for that.
Didn't expect it. Bayley came out there and whooped that ass.
Definitely throws a wrench into the feud, and I think gives it a little more gives some more legs where they can still always one way or another. I feel the plan should absolutely be for Lyra to come out on top because they obviously she's got a lot of potential. I still wait for the day that she turns heel eventually to see if she can pull that off. She can become one of those all-time great female superstars. But for now, like whatever they do that, it's whatever. But Bayley in it adds, gets some more depth to it for sure.
A whole new fucking pillar, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's gonna be fantastic. I didn't expect Bayley to show up. She hasn't been here since like WrestleMania.
Yeah, so, total shock, and it was boom. Great.
And for her to attack Becky, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. Like that's probably going to be a Night of Champions match, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Well, Night of Champions, they may be honestly. Depending on how they do it, they may say some of these for the Evolution. Is Evolution? Is that?
It's on July 13th.
So that's okay. So it is after Night of Champions. Okay, yeah.
It's on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, because they got the Saturday Night's Main Event that weekend too. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
which I was actually really excited that was on a Sunday because I'm going to the AEW show on the 12th. So I wanted to watch the Evolution pay-per-view live. So
is the 12th when the Saturday Night's Main Event is?
Yeah.
So I'll be watching that while you're at the AEW show because I'm not getting tickets.
Yeah, and that
it's all
thing
good.
is like I can never watch those live. I have to wait until afterwards just because I don't have the same level of excitement for a Saturday night main event as I do like a regular pay-per-view. So I never get home.
It's not supposed to be quite as prestigious. I wouldn't mind, an actual honest to goodness, real title change moment kind of thing, but again, they're fun for what they are. They usually have good matches, so it's all good. But, so then the other thing, immediately after the Bayley Becky stuff, which they had to clear out of the ring pretty quick, obviously. Let's not call it R-Truth, but let's,
Bro!
I like the idea of him saying, he's obviously going to go a different direction. He's not going to be the comedy guy that, gets people's names wrong. I think at least, that's what it seems like. Ron the Truth Killings, but dude, the haircut was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, he fucking whipped out the scissors and went, shrink, shrink, and I was like, what? And then I was texting, I'm like, did you see that?
Yes.
Like, dude.
But no, I really love Ron the Truth Killings. Most people, it's pretty much all over the internet now. The reason behind that is, and it's smart on we'll just say smart on Ron's part to, since he's going by that name now. But it's smart on his part to do that. To say, hey, I want my name out there that way, because I think he sees that maybe he gets another 1 or 2 years, but he's not there for 10 plus more years as an active performer. But he probably feels like he can still go and contribute for longer than another year or two. So wherever he goes after this, his name does hold more value. So that's a smart move on his part, and I'm glad that he is able to get hopefully get a better deal for whatever this next run is, plus set himself up better for in the future. So good on him, basically, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the character goes. I don't know about you.
Well, yeah, I am. But to play on what I talked about last week, I said at the end of the day, like, he'll get the Hall of Fame, he'll get a Legends contract, he'll get all that stuff. But if he can actually come in and do more than what he was doing, I think that's where the line was drawn. Like, he's a comedy act.
But I think he can still for someone in their 50s, there's probably not many wrestlers in their 50s that can go as well as he can in the ring. I'm willing to say that pretty confidently. The dude is, the dude is in amazing shape for someone in there. I believe it's 53,
Well, and the way he was able to pull that off is
Yeah.
he wasn't having Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and then live shows. He wasn't having matches 4 or 5 times a week for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It was a slow burn. When you got people like John Cena who was literally having matches 5 nights a week. Like, I mean, yeah, he's in his mid-40s and you can see that he can't go like he used to.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But he used to go at a higher level, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
So, either way, like I said, man, very interested in where this is going to go and very interested to see how that actually turns out. That haircut, probably maybe polished up a little bit or something, once he gets it. It was, but I'm just all around, like I said, good on him and excited to see where this goes. So then I think this is where I did start to jump the gun earlier, but now it was Finn Balor next. Again, shooting Grin Balor. It's amazing. It's great. I love it. I can't wait for the full-on, just complete implosion of the Judgment Day. It's going to be exciting stuff. But then we got, the Fatal 4-Way, which, again, these Fatal 4-Ways, 2 each for each brand, and then semifinals, and then the finals. Considering that I think they've only got, I guess 3 weeks of shows. They got this week, next week, and then it's the week after that on the Saturday. So,
yeah,
good. That's a good format. It's nice and sweet, and we'll get 1 week of build up to the winner, the finalist or whatever it looks like. So, I'm excited. But this match was another kind of, good match. It was a lot of fun. The Fatal 4-Ways. It's not your favorite, but I definitely enjoy them when you get people that know how to put them together. And then Sammy winning, man. Brady, you broke my heart when after that match. I said, Sammy winning. Yes, fucking Sammy winning. And I said, you're telling me there's a chance. I even sent you one of my favorited clips that I saved because it pumps me up. Sammy saying, I will be World Heavyweight Champion. And what the fuck did you say, Brady?
I don't know. Let's pull it up on the screenshot. Let's take a look here.
I had to ignore you because I was hurt, Brady, and pissed off, and
he won't deliver even if he gets the chance, bro. Boom. The typical me over here just laughing it up because I think it's hilarious, just busting your balls.
Yeah, and you know what even hurts worse? Our buddy Keith, I texted him the same similar thing, and I was like, yes, there's a chance, and he was like, yeah, but if he does, he'll get cashed in on immediately, and I was like, you son of a bitch. So, dude. You know what, Brady, you and Keith, fuck off. Don't bury my dreams of Sammy being the world champ, okay?
Oh my gosh, dude. Speaking of which, we got to get Keith on here for a little minute. See what's up with going on with him. But
yeah, no, he's definitely a funny guy, and yeah, we'll see about that at some point. In the meantime, he also breaks my heart because he talks just as much shit about Roman as you. So I don't know if I want him on the show actually when I think about that if he's going to talk shit about Roman. So we'll see.
Roman and his fake ass fucking belt that don't exist.
It's a real belt,
so
you fucker.
What else went on during that Fatal 4-Way?
Man, there was gosh, they had I'm trying to think, it was just a lot of back and forth all over the place. LA Knight, that's what it was. I was like, there's some big story beat I'm missing, which is LA Knight, which I was like, okay, isn't he on SmackDown though? So maybe I wonder if they're gonna start switching some people around or what.
So I did read right before Raw that there was talks rumor that LA Knight's going to Raw.
Okay.
Are we doing an elusive draft or are we just gonna magically shift people around again?
Hey, you know what? All it takes is one little backstage segment. Hey, thanks for trading me to Raw. And there's no, if they don't need to always be a draft. And when the NXT call-ups happen, hey, congratulations on signing the contract. Move on. It doesn't need to always be a whole. They don't need to waste 2 weeks of draft. Those get boring anyway to me.
They get boring and then they never stick. Like ever.
Yeah, just hey, we traded you. Looking for a new opportunity. LA Knight says, hey, I'm looking for a new opportunity. I want to get Seth Rollins' ass, whatever. It's it's all good. Wherever LA Knight goes, he's always entertaining. I still think I still would like to see him get a shot at the world title, and I think he would. I think he deliver with it, but I don't think he's going over Seth to get it though. So we'll see what happens. But no, I'm wherever he goes. Is he ever not entertaining?
Yeah.
And you're still one of your favorite clips to show me when you decide to piss me off, which is often, is Roman doing his amazing, just awesome grand entrance and fucking LA Knight coming out and fucking it up. That's like that's got to be in your top 5 clips you send me just randomly to piss me off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Either way, though, like I said, glad he's there, and that's that it's always gonna be exciting. So after that, Nikki Bella came out to the ring, and then I thought Liv Morgan brought it out there with, hey, why did you mention all these women? You didn't mention me. And then laid her out flat. I mean, pretty obvious where that's going. We mentioned it earlier. Probably she's there to put Liv over. Maybe it's a one-on-one. Maybe it's a tag match with Raquel. They had, Nikki had mentioned, her and Brie potentially wanting to win the tag belts. That's kind of like a thing that if it had been around when they were there, that's something they would have wanted and would have gotten if it had been a thing, obviously. I don't know that they need to win it, but I know you don't want them to win it, but I don't think they need to either.
No, they don't, for one. But Brie ain't coming back.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, so we'll see. Maybe it's just the one-on-one then. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But short and sweet. Did you see? Did you see? There's like a meme of Nikki when she got laid out, arms out flat, and then someone photo edited Cena after one of the mini crossroads where he gets laid out flat, and both of them just laying flat on their backs, no motion, and the meme said like, "Hey, these two would make a good couple." I gotta find that, dude. That had me dying. I wish I would have saved that and sent it to you. It was pretty fucking funny, actually. But again, not much there. I mean, it's obviously leaving. She mentioned Evolution and all that. So I'm sure will be fun. Liv is gonna go be on fire for it. She's Liv's great, so it'll be fun, I think.
Yep.
So then, man, the main event, bro. The main event. Okay, so what did I just say like 3 days ago or whatever on our podcast? I was like, man, Jey Uso, yeah. Jey Uso's fucking killing it. I was wrong about him as a main eventer. He's doing a tremendous job. I was worried about Seth cashing in on him and it being over too soon. But it is over too soon, but not by the way I thought. Now, what is your thoughts on how it went? So,
bruh, zero confidence that Gunther was walking out with that belt.
Yeah.
Zero. I mean, what? Gunther's title run sucked a dick. Like, straight up. It made it just fell flat. It straight up fell flat. And I don't know if that was Gunther's fault or if that was just lack of booking or if it's character. I don't know. But I could not believe that they took the momentum that Jay had and just ripped the rug out from under it. Like,
yeah.
Unless they're gonna do a situation where Jay immediately gets, his rematch at Night of Champions, which I hope to fucking God not, because I don't want to see another Jay Gunther thing. But the only way that I can see they maintain Jay's momentum is them putting him right back into that title picture chase.
Yeah.
So, but I have read and seen on the internet that they are discussing heavily putting Jimmy and Jay back together. And if that's the case, fine. But
so I read about it in a different like that, but I read it was part of a kind of plan to recapture that old Bloodline Magic, the original Bloodline crew.
Ugh, dude, why? It's like bringing Evolution back. Why? We don't need that garbage.
That garbage, you motherfucker. That greatness, you mean? Greatness amongst us? Greatness on a different level. Hey, you got that shirt still? Greatness on a different level.
Yes, I wear it all the time. I wear it to fucking do yard work, dude.
Did you yard you?
Yeah.
That's your get sweaty and get dirty shirt, you asshole.
I'm
No,
just
here
kidding.
that's what I read. I mean, we'll see about that. Like, I think it could work again in a shorter burst. Like, again, if Roman wins it again, it's not going to be another 4-year reign or 2-year reign even, but it could still be a little bit of fun. We'll see what happens with that. But I just want to say, so that, like, I will say that in a way, it was completely shocking, and the crowd was like, you saw the reactions afterward. Gunther even said, "Man, the life just got sucked out of the crowd." Like, everyone was just completely shocked. But in a way, when you consider what they've been saying for weeks now about him stretching himself too thin, I thought the way they played it up with that made, in a way, you can just made like total sense, and it totally made it didn't make to me it didn't make him look weak or anything like that. It really was, hey, 9 days or 8 days earlier, he tsunami'd 4 times or whatever. Friday night SmackDown, he got jumped on again. Saturday night at Money in the Bank, he got moonsaulted through a table and all that. They really played up how much he had been stretching himself thin, and it makes sense that he couldn't keep that momentum going. And also, just flat out great booking of the match. I mean, as soon as he ripped the shirt off and you saw the ribs, Gunther, the crowd gasped, and every time Gunther would knee him in the ribs or anything, the crowd was, I thought that was amazing, just great ring psychology for it. And for what it was, they made him look tough. They made him fight back. They looked like he had a chance. But in the end, Gunther, they said it over and over again. Jay was stretched thin. Gunther was at 100%. And Gunther at 100%. If you're not, you're not going to beat him. In a way, it almost just kind of makes sense. I don't think they should have had, with that much stuff that they did. It's almost like we should have seen it coming, if anything. So I was definitely a bit disappointed. Now, I was holding my breath. Okay, let's go Seth. And I was actually rooting for the cash in then, because I'm like, motherfucker, Gunther again. And I actually love Gunther, but again, like, I didn't see it coming, but I was kind of hoping for Seth to come out, but it appears he might have other plans, which will involve cashing in on Punk and saying "fuck you, Brady." So, yeah.
We gonna go back down this path?
There's nothing else to say. It'll happen,
All right.
But yeah. So what do you think? The show. What do you think of the show overall? I thought it was a fun show, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5. Yeah. I mean, I think the show was fine. It was great. It kept my attention the majority of the evening, and
I would say if I take out the disappointment of Jay losing, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. It was I just can't get over, like, literally 3 days earlier. Man, I think Jay's doing an amazing job. Oh, fuck you, Chris. Bye. Yeah.
Well, and then, like, the crowd.
The crowd was just shocked.
What?
Yeah.
There's nothing really else to say other than for the love of God, hope that next week, when Gunther comes out and starts flapping his fucking gums, that we don't get Goldberg's music and Goldberg come out and challenge him for the fucking title as Saturday Night Main Event. Like,
I fear that is the whole point of it.
And if that's the case, Gunther needs to fucking win. Like,
oh, no, absolutely. There's no way they're going to agree to have Goldberg go out as champ.
Brother, you say that. Not go out. He said that he's going to have one more match.
So, okay? Yeah, there's no way he's going to win the championship with one more match,
I don't think there's one more match. I think, like, if they're going to say it's for the championship, he beat The Fiend. All right.
I think his age will play more of a factor in than it did before. I think his last run, when he had the beat The Fiend, had the program with Lesnar and almost with Roman,
almost Undertaker.
Yeah, almost killed the Undertaker. That was, especially at first with the Lesnar stuff. That was a full on, hey, the dude can still move decently for his age, and he still looked good, and it was just I mean, it was genius booking the way that they straight up did the old school WCW, Goldberg of squashing him in like 2 minutes flat and all that. But it was definitely just this. This was a true like return after years and years, and it was good. I don't think it's gonna. I think this will be more of a nostalgia like thing. I hope.
I don't
I say I
think,
think.
though.
I hope to God it's just a one time more. Give him the pomp in Atlanta and let the crowd cheer him out after the show. Whatever. But
I don't think that Gunther needed to win the title to have the retirement match with Goldberg.
no, I don't think so. I don't think the belt needed to be involved, but maybe they just figure why not? If they have other plans for Jay, why not? I don't know. Like I said, we got about a month before that, right? Yeah, it's the 12th or something, right?
So, yeah, it's the 12th of July.
It's not exactly something that needs a ton of build up. We'll see, man. It's definitely a little bit of a open ended stuff going on, and there's still stuff to be excited about. So the match next week, if I remember the other one for the guys, it's like Rusev, Sheamus, and I think Big Bronson, and then a mystery guy.
Mystery opponent. And
has there been any rumors on that yet, or what you think?
Iguana Man.
What?
The Iguana Man.
Oh, that would be something. I don't see them doing that, because if they're going to show him off, they need to go out there somewhere where he can go do flips on people all over the place. The three of those guys will just squash him, and I don't think they want to do that to him. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
I'd be curious to see if it's not something like that. I'd be curious to see who it is.
I don't know who else. Like, to me, it needs to be. It needs to be a fatal 4-way Big E. Fatal 4-way. It needs to be another big meaty man slapping meat with all of them. I'm excited though, dude. I remember the matches like that Rusev used to, whenever Rusev would get in there was someone that was somewhat of a bigger guy like him, and they could really just they had enough confidence in each other to just lay into each other. It was always a good time. So
yeah,
that match is going to be a lot. Like, it's one of those where you think for like, okay, Rusev, Sheamus and Big Bronson, I got a feeling that match is going to be a whole lot more fun than it has any right to be. And it's going to be a straight up Big E special match, which I always love those. Let's be honest. We all love that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We got a week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's more matches on SmackDown and everything. They haven't announced much other than the King of the Ring stuff, I think. There's the 2 4-ways on those, but they usually wait till like Thursday or Friday to start announcing stuff. Just random out of nowhere, I actually got a chance to watch the entire episode of NXT this week. So 2 biggest things out of that were Mariah May's new name, Blake Monroe, which a lot of people are like groaning about, but I gotta be honest,
it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, like really and truly, the name does very few times does the name make someone. She's young enough to put herself over. I didn't see. I'm not gonna say I saw every bit of the time she had in AEW, but I saw most of it, and she is absolutely. You can tell she was very comfortable being the center of attention, being the champ, and she's great, so yeah, it's one of those things where so there's some people who will probably try to talk shit about it, but the reality is if she'd been Blake Monroe all along, she would still be just as popular because she's just talented in general.
Yep.
So very exciting for there. Yeah. And then, dude, someone that I've got to make more of a point to see more often. I've seen several of his matches, but I have not seen enough, and especially if every time he gets in the ring with someone that's close to his size, Obafemi. Holy shit, that was a fun fucking match. That was, I keep saying the term, but that was a Big E special match also. 2 guys just beating the shit of each other, dude. They busted the barricades. Oba got thrown into the middle turnbuckle so hard it busted the ropes. Like, it was an incredibly physical match, and the crowd was legit. Like, I think because of the Gunther thing the night before where no one saw that coming, and then all of a sudden you've got this guy just absolutely taking it to the most dominant guy NXT's ever seen in years. The crowd was thinking there was that the unbelievable was going to happen, and it almost did, and I would have been I think they would have been okay with it because the match was that good, and it was fun, So I definitely got to start paying attention to both those guys because, and I say a lot of times that with between work and just life and family and everything, it's hard to keep up with all the wrestling shows as much as we'd like. But I definitely want to start making NXT a little bit more of a priority myself, and everyone should. They got such good stuff. Even their women's, even without Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, their women's division is still amazing. Yeah, it's good stuff going on over there, man. I'm excited to kind of start paying a little more attention to that myself.
And I need to too as well. It's just, again, like you said, life.
Yeah.
You've got 3 hours of Raw, or 2.5 hours of Raw, 3 hours of SmackDown. That's
3 hours of SmackDown. Still, the word is they're freaking doing that through the summer, man. I wish they would go to 2.5 hours. I don't know if they ever will, but that's like the sweet spot to me, But we'll see.
It's just perfect amount of time, and then they have that layover if they need it,
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, this little segment that I'm fixing to kick off is the Roman lost his title to Cody at WrestleMania 40 question of the night.
You son of a bitch.
That question of the night is, going back in time, would you have, knowing what you know now, would you have stopped watching WWE for that stint and kind of losing the, I'm not going to say love, but the lust of watching wrestling? Knowing what you know today, doing what we're doing, if you would have known, would you have ever backed off?
Oh, because I see what you're saying. So like, fuck you for the name, by the way, there. But no. So really, like, as a kid, it is what it is. Again, the punches weren't real. That broke my heart. That's kind of just whatever. Definitely, there's a lot of stuff that the main thing would be, but kind of in between the Attitude Era and I watched a little bit of the Ruthless Aggression, but that's when I kind of just stopped being able to pay attention as much. Getting back into it before about a year and a half casually before WrestleMania 30, and the build to WrestleMania 30 was definitely kind of a full on thing. I definitely wish I could have seen some of it. I've seen the clips and I know the stories of, but everyone says forever and ever 09 Orton was the most vicious thing ever, and I completely missed all that. I missed a lot of Randy Orton's what some would call his heydays. I think he's got plenty of good ones in the last few years, and probably more to come. Let's be honest, he still can go. One thing I regret is I pretty much missed and this is something like I pretty much missed the entire career of Beth Phoenix. I remember her debuting, and she debuted like as a Mickie James hardcore fan, going after her, but then she got hurt and she was gone, and that was kind of just around the time it just happened to start stop watching wrestling, at all. She came back and had a amazing Hall of Fame worthy run, and I missed it all. And I got to see her in some of her little comebacks, that were really entertaining. I got to see her as commentary in NXT. I loved her in that role. Zip it, Barrett was great. Every time she'd say that, it was amazing. And and the biggest thing that I regret missing is the entire HBK Taker feud. That it was you could probably give it about a 16 months before 25, and then that entire year up to 26. Like I read so much about how cool it was that I literally went out of my way to find, like, I found all the old episodes of Raw that he showed up on the build up to 25. I watched the match at 25, a bunch of times. I found all the segments leading up to 26, like, the Slammies. I found the what's it called, where he threw the challenge down, when he lost his way before that for a while afterwards. That entire year-long build was just getting to kind of go through and watch all the episodes that he was on, and all that build up through Elimination Chamber, right up until 26. Dude, that was fucking amazing. And in a way, most people, and they're probably right, say the 25 match was better, but when you watch that entire build up before
Yeah.
26, to me, I enjoy 26 more because of watching that entire build up to it. A good story can elevate a match, and it's one of those things where if you watch 25 and 26 back to back, you'd probably say 25 was better, but that story just made 26 so amazing. That's my biggest regret for missing that time frame in wrestling.
Yeah, that makes me sad for you.
Yeah.
So I never missed a WrestleMania. Like, regardless of if I was keeping up with the stories or, you know, whatever, like, WrestleMania was something that I bought even as an adult. Like, I watched the pay-per-views. I even got into that, you know, trying to find it on a fucking free website, you know, loading up my computer with viruses.
Those are so sketchy.
Because,
especially back in the day, like you just had to accept that you were going to get viruses on those things.
Yeah.
Now you can get the VPNs, and it's actually pretty easy from what I understand. I don't do that, I promise, but it's pretty easy from what I understand to find those streams without getting in any kind of trouble. But
if you're paying, you know, $6 a month for Peacock, I mean, it's worth $6 a month not to fucking go try to do all that nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my big question. I've been genuinely curious, like, if you have like any regret from not watching from, you know, year here to year there, you know. So
no, I mean, I missed. Here's the thing. I also got to miss most of CM Punk's run, so there's bright sides to it all, you know. There's good to it. I missed most of that bum, so yeah.
You know what? The 2011, and I will talk about this until the day that I die. The 2011 CM Punk versus John Cena feud will go down as the best ever Money in the Bank of all time.
Wait, is that the one where CM Punk he botched the GTS at the end? Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's the night that he won the belt off of Cena, and Vince actually came out and he was trying to do the Brett Screwjob, and Cena said no. Great shit. And then he left with the belt.
And then he's like yelling, "Get Alberto out here! Get Alberto out here!" And
right, yes, and Punk just fucking left. Like,
hey, let's be honest. That I'll admit. Okay, you know that is a pretty iconic wrestling image. Let's be honest. So
yes,
in the pipe, in the pipe, I'll also admit the pipe bomb that because it was 3 or 4 weeks or a week or something before the match, if I remember right, was the pipe bomb, right?
Yes.
It was that direct build up to that match that was the pipe bomb. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah, obviously a legendary moment. But you know, overall, Punk botched the GTS at the end, so kind of ruined it.
All right, what else you got for me, bro?
Man, I think that's it for this week. You know, I'm looking forward to what we got going on this weekend through Monday Night Raw next week. I'm hoping that they, you know, got some interesting stuff for us. You know, and again, for all the shit I talked, Punk's got, I guess, probably 2 more weeks of some shit talking to do. So I expect some good stuff from that. We'll see how it goes. But
cool.
It should be fun though. So, but yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, man. We are Working the Crowd. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram,
Facebook.
I almost said MySpace.
Oh,
Where the fuck am I?
Jesus.
Facebook.
And we got to get one on X going in Spotify. That's the next step coming. But yeah, everyone, anybody seeing these things, you know, give us some comments on any of our videos if you do see them. You know, we'd love to kind of, you know, interact with some people. If you do, be sure to tell Brady that CM Punk sucks. And
hey, you know what? This has been a great evening with you, Chris. I've really enjoyed it. Again, my name's Brady. That's the Chris, and we're gonna sign off for the night. What else do you have to say?
Acknowledge your tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Fuck Roman Reigns. Goodbye.
All right, goodbye. Thank you, everybody. We are Working the Crowd. We'll see you next time.